know when you done went through some people, then you know when you got a good one. Okay? I done went through 3 advisors and this the one right here. So please give it up for my advisor.
It's a no.
It's the bishop. It's this section right here. It's this section right here. Oh, we good. We is open and we is ready for business. First of all, y'all give a hand clap to my DJ real quick. Alright. So I'm going to ask my advisor, Dr. Brooke Coley, to give it. I wish you know all y'all came with my crush on You know that don't work for me. I just sit like this. Real cute. Is this cute? This cute pose? That's cute. Make sure it's cute in y'all pictures now. She can do that. I can't do that. Yeah. Okay.
You look great.
You know we're gonna be authentic. We'll be ourselves. Alright, so Dr. Coley, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Alright. My name is Brooke Coley. I'm a professor at SheHOODed in engineering. And yeah, that's my day job, but I think it's a lot more. I never would have imagined myself being a professor, so that's real. But I think God led me to the space that I'm in to make change and be a vessel. So that's what I'm doing. Focus on racial equity in Arizona. Picture that.
I'm focused on racial equity. Okay, so what she do that Lee also did when she came up here?
What?
She told us what she did, didn't she?
She gonna get to it.
You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, lawyer, babe. You're not up here no more. You're not up here no more. And then look at her. Look at her.
Back me up, Lee. Back me up.
Back me up, Lee. Baby, let's see. Security. We ain't going to one. I got the 2 D's.
I got spicy security right there. Anything pop up.
Alright, so tell us who you are. Because you're right. I said, tell me about yourself. But it still should have been about yourself. I ain't said tell me about your job, Lee.
Well, we want to know. Okay. Some adjectives, I guess. And nouns. Let's go back to 5th grade. I'm an extremophile. I'm a mother. I'm a lover.
Yeah.
This is the art version. I'm an artist. I'm an engineer. I'm a people person. I am a disruptor. I'm a film enthusiast and a novice filmmaker. Speak that up. You know, this is my day job. Hopefully, you know, y'all come to Sundance and then we have a movie and then we can say the rest is history.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be one of the actors, y'all.
Fantasi's gonna be an
Okay, so when you say you're a disruptor, do you mean like in life, in general, in your field? Like, what do you mean? Just talk about it.
Yeah, I think everywhere. I think I wake up and I think I wear an armor of justice straight up. I think that I had this thing coming up as a scholar. They say to whom much is given, much is expected. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's always true. And I've never been a person, so let me give y'all the real. I started out.
There we go.
I learned from Lee. So I was taking notes, Lee. I was taking notes. You get my score after. No, but really, when I was in middle school, I used to get bullied, straight up. And people that know me now be like, "What? Brooke got bullied? Hell no, I don't even believe that." But I did. And I got bullied because people said, I wasn't black enough. I had long hair, I was light skinned, all this stuff that I never even knew like separated people. And it put me in this mode where I was actually scared. Like one of my old best friends, 15 years, 20 years, and then separation, friendship ended. But we became friends because she was going to meet the girls at the bus for me. Because they were like, we gonna tell you what, whatever. And I think that was like 7th grade. I had just transferred to a new school the first day back from holiday break. Who does that to their child? Anyway, and so I was in class scared. Like, you know, these girls gonna fight me. I don't know how to fight. I'm not a fighter. That's not been my identity. And so my friend, she held true and was out there to kind of like defend me with the girls. And I got tired of other people having to fight my battles. And so 9th grade, a few years later, there was this girl named SheHOODed. And y'all ever know people that like to hate you? She don't know that. But and y'all see her on Facebook. SheHOODed. That was her name. But it was just a day, and it was one of those days where it was like, today is not the day. And she said the wrong thing at the wrong time, and I just stopped, and I was like, this shit ends today. And I didn't know what I was doing. She said something in front of everybody, you know, crowd like, ooh, and all the people turned, and I was like, oh shit, what am I doing? Because I didn't know how to fight. And then she turned around, she was like, what did you say? And I said, you heard what I said. I was like, oh shit. And then, honestly, just because I stood my ground to her, she backed down. She really wasn't about nothing. She was only pushing because I was letting her push. And that was like my epiphany, like, people will only go as far as you allow. And then I realized then that I had this power inside of me. I still didn't know how to fight. But that's when I turned to being like this protector of myself and others. And it just kind of never stopped. And that was like the start of me being this disruptor, because I feel like you never know why you're brought to different spaces. And I'm not a person that's going to wait for the next person to do what's needed to be done.
Okay.
So I'm here, I'm capable, I'm able, and so
And I disrupted.
I disrupt shit.
Come and fuck shit up. That's what we doing, okay? I like it. That's why me and her get along. I'm a fucker upper. Okay. So, one of the things that, you know, comes to light, especially with our field, being in engineering, you know, when you start doing more like the social justice work in engineering spaces, it's typically looked at as like disruptive work. How would you frame your work in other ways, like not being disruptive? Because one of the things that I really feel like we need to get out of the habit of doing is wording things in a way.
I love you doing your thing. That's what
But one of the things that I want us to get out of the habit of is thinking that words don't matter. Because we'll say one word and really mean something else, and then like when somebody calls us out on it, we'll be like, no, that's not what I meant. You know I meant this. Like that's not. But words matter. Like how you say something matters. What you say matters. And so when we ourselves, like I love the word disruptor, but I know some people may not necessarily be comfortable with that word.
Yeah.
So how would we frame that type of work in a way that makes it more like agentic and like in a way that people can feel comfortable with doing it if they don't want to identify as a disruptor?
No, I get that, and that's a great question. That was a good one. But you know, I understand people not want to be labeled a disruptor. I think a lot of times I've been referred to as a rebel. same type of thing. I don't see those as negative because I think, there are so many different ways of being, knowing, doing that we don't only have to exhaust one pathway. But if I were going to say, what's another way of saying disruption that maybe sheds that negative connotation? Light bearer, individual, truth seeker, non-conformist. I think that, it's sad that disruption can be connected to can have a negative connotation because there's so many things that need disrupting, and so if we keep the status quo, the most knowledge known to man is hidden in books. People don't read, right? So if you're enlightened or you continue to feed your mind and grow, I feel like you have a responsibility to share that, and I feel like you have a responsibility to show up as that in spaces with people that don't even know what they need. And that is disruption, but it's a positive thing. But I think there are other ways we can call it. So maybe just holding the responsibility that is placed upon us to just show up different, and it could even be authentic. Being authentic is disruptive. Because people don't, it's like they tell us how we can look, what's professional, how to wear your hair, how to speak. That's one of the things. Now I get that up. That's one of the things that I love about this one right here is she shows up authentic, 100%. And that's the thing. If the stuff that's coming out of your mouth is powerful, how I say it, my dialect, my twang, my slang, that's irrelevant because I'm spitting knowledge. And that's a them issue. That's not a you issue. Yeah. So, said that, baby. Said it. Woo! Okay, y'all see why I love my advisor. She loves me sometimes. Y'all know Aries. You know I heard you laugh on that. No, I love her all the time. But again, when you're a disruptor and you're not used to people telling you, how you need to do something or certain ways, I think we've bumped heads on it. But I think that at the end of it, one thing I will say I love about my advisors is that, because I'm used to people, if I disagree with them or if I don't or if I say something that they feel like is questioning them, questioning authority, because I was always the child that questioned authority. Always. It wasn't, and I never took it as me questioning authority. I took it as me asking questions because I'm trying to learn. Because if I ask you, if you say don't do something, I need to know why. Because if I'm in a different situation, I want to know why I shouldn't be doing it, so I can think about it and be like, oh, okay, I know I shouldn't do this in this situation because of X, Y, Z, versus somebody just being back in the South again, I'm gonna say, and probably I think it's common to black parents especially. I feel like it was always because I said so, and it was my mom cause you said so. I'm an Aries, my mom a Cancer, so a lot of times she let me say stuff to a certain extent until she just got tired. She be like, I'm about to bet you in your mouth. I would definitely. She gonna watch this and laugh, but I would definitely push my mom in this. But I think that one of the things I love about my relationship with Dr. Coley is that I can ask a question, and even if we disagree or get into an argument, we'll always take a step back, and then we'll think about it, and then we'll say what it is. Because in the heat of the moment, you just be saying random shit, because you just be wanting shit to come out. Whatever you was thinking beforehand, whatever, it just come out at that moment. But I think that when we actually sit down and talk about it, it's oh, okay, this was at the root of what we were trying to get at. And I think that a lot of people would benefit from having conversations about what's at the root of their issues and being vulnerable up front instead of actually arguing with people about shit that don't matter. Don't argue with me about the shit that I did on a day-to-day basis, because that day-to-day basis is not what bothers you. What bothers you is the consistency of what was happening during the day-to-day basis, and that's what bothers you, if we're being honest. You didn't think or expect me to move a certain way, and maybe we didn't have a conversation about what your expectations were.
So how would I know? You know? And I think that's not our situation, but I was just, for some reason I felt that that's what needed to be said right then, so I don't know who that was for, but
I need it. And let me just add to that. So my baby told me something.
I love making babies Aries, and that's gang gang.
Oh my God. No Aries love, y'all. Oh my God. They are so hard. They make you work. I'm learning. I'm just a Scorpio in training, all right? No.
That's enough. How much she done had to drink?
Drop the mic.
But me, I'm just saying, October 25th.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And you didn't
See, that's why I needed security.
No, but she told me that you should, when you really love people, you lean into the difficult conversations. And I think that's something I'm still navigating and learning, and it's a growth process because, you know, the easy thing is to like either close up, retreat, don't address, don't embrace, whatever. But I think in terms of leading, you can't really be an effective leader if you're not open to being led. And so I don't profess to know all of nothing. Like I said, the professor track, that wasn't even in my, I came honestly so I can have impact on Black and brown students and make doors open where people aren't sitting open doors, period.
Love it.
That was simple. And Dr. Brunhaver can tell you, like, it's not easy being a professor. It's not easy because there's so many, when we talk about like metrics and worth, there's all these systems like trying to tell you who you are and your value based on meeting somebody else's metrics. And typically those metrics don't mean shit to you. You know? So when it comes to like receiving, like you said, questioning or you being critical, I embrace that. I love that because that's how you grow and you push me to grow. And if people don't have that openness, like leadership should be more open and transparent because that's really the only way that the organization, the vision, like will ever advance. Like it was just like all the leaders just leading and shut up and follow, nothing would ever change, you know, nothing would ever get done, so.
I think that's something that definitely, like, I feel like with the whole advisor situation, or even like when you think of, I would even say like an employer-employee type of situation, because a lot of times like we work with our advisors on funded, like government-funded projects. I think that a lot of times like other advisors, like I've never had this issue with you, but I feel like my first advisor looked at me as like this workhorse. And like looked at me like I didn't have any experience on my own prior to coming here. And I'm like, bitch, I already got a master's. I got like 2.5, 3 years of work experience at a Fortune 500 company straight out of undergrad. Well, straight out of my master's. Well, technically straight out of undergrad because I was interning during my master's program with this same company. And so I felt like, you know, in academia, sometimes they look at students as not being full adults, as not being like an actual professional who has like expertise, who has experience. And so like what have you done to like make sure that you don't like, because I know like I see it, but like what advice can you give other people to, if they have people who work under them, with them, for them, how can they treat those people and respect their values without like diminishing their work and their worth and value in their particular careers?
Yeah. Wow. I needed like warm up for these questions.
Warm me up. I'm ready then.
No, so I guess that's a good one. I think that humanity and respect go a long way. And I don't think it really has to be anything novel, but recognizing that people are not positions. You know, like people are people and they are full slates with different experiences, background, expertise. Graduate school is just one realm where I think that's part of the reason it's hard to get people that have like had some type of career to re-enter grad school, because it kind of is like this notion you're gonna be like indentured servitude. Nobody wants to do that, you know? So you have to, I think the recommendation from me to anybody else is, if you're a leader, okay, I'll back up and say this one thing and I'll go back. If you're a leader, you should be able to find the leader in other people. You know what I mean? So like, you should be able to find what it is that Fantasi brings, or Diego brings, or you know, whoever else brings to your team that others could value and learn from. Everybody's got something. Everybody's got something. And you know, we think about these institutions like the Ivy Leagues that like put out, you know, great people. They take in great people. That's not an institution. If you take in great is gonna come out. If you take in a C student and crank them out and then they're great, then I'm like, hey, okay, the institution did something. So my point is, people get a lot of recognition for not doing anything. You're taking the difficulty is not in something that's ready-made. The difficulty is when you can invest yourself to take diamonds and all the pressure and all that stuff. Like, how do you take something that is potential and make it kinetic? Then you can say you did something. So I feel like that's what people need to do, is like find the leader and other people, find what people bring that's like exceptional and capitalize on that. And I think anybody will do anything better when they feel valued. Anything. People will do it better if they feel valued.
And that's for sure. I'm Vicky Lowe, if you hoes. Like, I'm just playing. I do love Vicky Lowe. Shout out to Vicky Lowe. All right. So I have a question, because how many of you are probably like one of the minority at your job? And when I say minority, I don't mean you are a minority. I mean like there aren't that many other people that look like you. Okay, I see.
Y'all live in Arizona, right? There should be more hands than that.
I think that's But in those fields, do y'all feel like social justice is, like, people feel like social justice stuff like racial equity, disability equity, like things like that, do y'all feel like it's valued at y'all's jobs? Like raise your hand if you feel like it's valued.
Who did like this? Somebody did like this. What does that mean?
Well, I work in education and I'm in a special ed class, so disability is all we talk about. However, I'm the only black person in the room in the entire school, so I have to speak up for the kids that look like me that are also in the disability class.
And you're the only, are you the only, you're the only special ed teacher at your school?
I'm the only black teacher at the school.
Oh, like at the whole school?
And I'm not even a whole teacher there, I'm student leader.
So the question that brings up for me, and the thing that I'm wondering about, and maybe you could like touch on that, is like, for me, when I hear that you're the only black special ed teacher at your school, number one, I don't feel like you should be part-time at any point unless that's what you're choosing to be. But I feel like that position, in particular, those type of positions should be valued more than what they're being valued as in industry. And like, they're not paying you because they don't value it. They're not giving you the title that you need to be able to really advance yourself in education in that field because they don't value it. So are you working that because of right now? We're not trying to, like, I ain't trying to get into your business or whatever. But like I said, I want this to be like a community engagement type of podcast. So like, for me, are you intentionally working that part-time?
It's a part of my degree, student teaching aspect. I'm technically full-time, but I'm a student teacher.
Right, so you work full-time for them, but they using this thing that I like to call, so one of the things I'm looking at in my dissertation is the matrix of domination. That's in Black Feminist Thought, which is a theory by Patricia Hill Collins. But and it's a book called Black Feminist Thought. If anybody wants to get it, the first person that actually come to me and say they want it, I will buy it for you. Actually, I think she was first with that blue hat on. I think she was first. Yeah, she was first. She was fast. She was quick. You was second, then you was third. I saw it. I see the hands. But actually, I'll get it for all three of y'all. But Joe, put your hands down. You can share. But I'm thinking, so in the matrix of domination, there are 4 areas of domination when it comes to like any type of like inequity or systemic inequity in places. There's the structural, which means that because of somebody's social location, so because of like their identities in a particular space, they're looked at a certain way, they're not given certain resources. So you can think of this as like gentrification, redlining. That's like that type, that's that domain. Like, you know, us not, like me being from a small town, like graduating from Noxubee County High School in Mississippi, and that school being taken over by the state. I didn't have any ACT prep. I didn't have any chemistry classes before I graduated. I didn't have any chemistry classes. My physics teacher was just, you know, if you was nice to the football players, we was literally just doing nothing in that class and getting the A's. So it was like I really didn't have that education that I needed to really feel confident even trying to go into engineering. So that's like the structural domain. Then you have the disciplinary domain, which is like where I feel like I get a lot of my attention from with other people outside of my advisors that, you know, I like to do a lot of authentic work. So I like to bring arts-based stuff into my research. I like to bring, you know, I write poetry, I write songs, I cuss in my shit. Like, you know, they be like, what the hell does this got to do with engineering? I'm like, yes, it does. But, you know, they'll say things like, oh, okay, well, you need to do it in this way for it to be seen as credible. Or like, it's like they try to manage what you do in that particular space, and they don't really have a particular law, but they try to put a law against it to basically say that this is not right. And this is not the way that we do this. Like, how many of y'all got like behaviors at y'all jobs that y'all get evaluated by? Most of them behaviors probably ain't got shit to do with what we actually do on our job on a day-to-day basis. But they judge us based off of that, and they base our raises and stuff off of that as well. So then the next one is the let me see, structural domain, disciplinary domain. The hegemonic thing. So, yeah, and the interpersonal. So the hegemonic domain is basically the reproduction of old ideas. So this would basically be like saying, oh, well, like everybody's colorblind. We don't see color. If you don't see color, then you don't see the inequities that I'm facing. If you don't see gender, you don't see the inequities that I face. If you don't see socioeconomic status and the fact that I grew up poor and that I didn't have the same resources that you had, not using it as an excuse. It's not an excuse. I hate when people say like, just because you talk about your identities, it's an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's basically letting you know the social location that I'm in society that would make my resources not set up for me to just succeed as easily as you. It doesn't mean that I can't succeed. It doesn't mean that I won't succeed, but it just means that there are different barriers that are positioned for me than there would be for you. And then the interpersonal would be like the day-to-day stuff. Like, you know, if my advisor was a bitch, which she's not, but, you know, if she was, you know, that could be like an interpersonal thing, right? So, that it just made me think about that, you know, friend in the back, I don't want to call your name because you don't want to, but like, it just made me think about that. And I really appreciate you for sharing that perspective because it really brought up some interesting stuff. So y'all clap for.
I had a question for you. For you? So I don't know if y'all know, maybe like February 2nd, 3rd, Fantasi got an opportunity to go to a concert. And the concert was one of her favorites. You know, there's Meg. Yes, she at the top. I think she's at the top, right? She's at the top, right? Is Glow? She's at the top. Oh shit, Glow at the top now? Okay. Well, I know Glow and Meg. So Glorilla, Fantasi went to see her, and
because my advisor bought me tickets when I passed my comprehensive exam.
And then Babe was sick and we couldn't go. But anyway, Fantasi got to go. And I said, I text her around 7:30. I said, I know you live. You getting ready to go. Whatever. And then I said, let me know how it goes. Send me some pics or something. So the next morning, I get this text. OMG, Dr. C, exclamation. I said, oh shit. She either on the plane with Glorilla. Glorilla didn't sign her overnight and she telling me she's not gonna finish her PhD or something else. I said, fam, I can't look at your text right now, I'm in a meeting, but I'll look at it as soon as possible. And so since she is a social media guru, I know she posted it, so most of y'all probably saw it. But you got to be on stage with Glow.
I did.
Yeah. So me and Babe got this joke because we looked at the video a couple times. Clark did too. Clark was like, I just can't. He didn't
That's my favorite boy, y'all. I can't see me that way.
Yeah, he was like, oh my God, this is fan. I can't. So, but we listened, and at the end, she was like, school bitches, or something like that. Like, cause you said, I'm getting my PhD, and she was like, oh, that's what's up, school bitches.
And you know, to this day, I don't know if she said school bitches or school pictures, cause you know she from Memphis, so like the accent is thick, so I couldn't tell which one she said. But either way, it sounded like bitches.
Well,
She might have said school bitches.
Look, in 10237, she said school bitch. No, we have a good laugh about that. But I think my question for you is just how did that feel? How did that feel to be like sharing the stage and kind of getting encouragement and being seen by somebody that's your model in one realm, but still representing your intellectual self and your academic pursuits in the other realm, and being unapologetic and bringing those two together? That's what I wanted to ask you.
Oh, that's a good question.
Right?
Yeah.
Some of that fire. So I think this it's the basis of the podcast. I would say, I think for me, it took a while for me to accept the fact that I was spiritual and ratchet and classy and hood educated and common sense educated and book educated. I think I didn't feel like those things could coexist, but I think it took me moving out here and meeting people like Dr. Katrina Thomas and and Lee, and people showing me that really you can be all of these things and you don't. Yeah, that's Lee. And showing me that you can really be all of those things at the same time. Because I think even now, I still kind of feel a little uncomfortable about it because I'm getting ready to graduate and I don't really know what my direction is next. Where I kind of want to put a lot of my energy into. And so I think that it just really took me being I'm about to do something that I want to do. I love Glow. So when she asked about, and we was literally, it was one person in front of me from the gate. So we was right there. So when they asked about the tour contest, there was another girl that had a fade like mine. So she looked directly at me and everybody just started pointing at me. So I was oh yeah, I'm not missing out on this opportunity. Now mind you, I'm thick, so I've been asked to be in a lot of twerk contests, and I have never done them because I just felt like I didn't want to. But I was not missing the opportunity to get on stage with Glorilla because I love Glorilla, and I was regardless of how people are going to see me, regardless of what I do, I want to be on stage with her because I need to tell her that I'm writing her name in my PhD. That's what she said, school bitch, because I was writing her name in my PhD. And so, even when I went on stage, honestly, it just felt natural. Even when I get on this stage, it just feels natural. When I go and I present at a conference, it just feels natural for me to be speaking to people. So I don't know what really my direction is, but I know me being authentic. I know people be well, how are you gonna differentiate yourself, and I'm like, I don't have to because I differentiate. Like I just naturally differentiate. So that's like always like my worst thing when business people be like, well, what makes you different than the other business? I'd be like, shit on me. Yeah, like I don't know. I just can't. Like I don't know. I be like, let me hire somebody to word that for me because I just can't. But I think that for me it was just I had to take that opportunity to do something that I knew would make me happy and not really think about what else it was going to do for other people. Like what type of mindset it was going to put other people in. Like if other people were going to care about it, value it, think that I was, too ratchet or whatever. And I don't know, shit, I won. Hell. And now I know the manager, so you know what I'm saying? Like, Glorilla. Okay, I want to go on tour too. But I could be at the red lights working on the headlights, Let's go! But yeah, so that was a really good question though. I think that honestly it just really took me being in a space with people like y'all for me to really feel like I could be myself. And I think that, this like stepping out with this is like me really just kind of like owning that this is me. And like if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. If you don't, you don't. Cause like one of the things that I will say, especially with social media and being like really good on social media, you think like, okay, if I get only 100 likes on this, but I get like 900 or 1,000 likes on this, then I gotta post certain types of content. And then I was like, why am I worried about like if 100 people walked up to me right now and was like, you look good today, or gave me a heart eye emoji, or did this, I would probably be floored for the rest of the day. I'd probably be like, y'all bitches can't tell me shit. But we over here worried about, we only got like 50 likes. Who gives a fuck? Because if 50 people walked up to you today, how would you feel? And gave you a compliment. If 10 people walked up to you in a day, shit is one person. Because half y'all ain't getting no information. You ain't even affirming yourself. You right there. Right there. Y'all better start affirming yourself. And I'm talking to me too because Lee is really my inspiration when it comes to that. Because that girl treat me like blue bread to affirm herself. I love that. I love that. She treat me like blue bread to affirm herself. Hey, Lee, don't call her. Lee, I need help with the 5 a.m. Lee, I need help with the 5 a.m. We need help with the 5 a.m. She probably will. But no, seriously though, I think that honestly, when you find a community you'll know if you're in the right community of people because you'll start. Really, when you start being your authentic self, like who you are when nobody's around, like me being, I don't know, damn girl. But when you start like, me, I'm naturally goofy, and for me to be sitting up here like acting goofy with y'all, dressed the way I'm just like, this is really like authentically me, and I don't show a lot of people this. So like for me to be up here, it says that I'm comfortable with myself, I'm comfortable with y'all, and that I'm in the right community. Because if I wasn't, I probably would be more like. Like, let me make sure I say the right words, and let me make sure I'm not mispronounce voluptuous, and have my friend Lee correct me, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it matters to have a community of people like this and like y'all to really be there. Oh shit! We've been Lord, we can talk about. Okay, we might have to do a second episode. Write it down. All right, so give the people a last little, like something a message that you want to leave with them for them to think about and reflect on throughout their lives to impact like mindset and identity, intellect, intuition. Any of that. Yeah. And then we'll get into the raffle. Okay. Because I know y'all want y'all raffles. Yeah. Y'all want waxing and smoothies and law and guidance. So I'm ready to get my ticket out too. Sure.
I think I would say
probably just tapping onto the end of what you just shared, I think one of the questions I've had in the past that I really appreciated, I think it made me reflect, was like, what would you say, if you could go back and talk to yourself in the past for the future, what would you say? It's along those lines. I can't see because of that light. Who said trust yourself? But love yourself, trust. Yes. Yeah. And what I would say was, or is, be authentic, wholehearted, because anything you will ever do will always be more rewarding, more impactful, more fulfilling. You know, we go in environments and we show up and we're like, okay, we try to get the lay of the land. I've been told I'm the metric, so I don't have to figure out the lay of the land. But for real, if you operate in authenticity, then it's not so much you trying to acquiesce to the environment. It's like either the environment is going to be right for you or it's not. And if it's not, you move on to the next environment. And then you move on until you find the environment that fits you, or shit, you start your own thing. You create the environment. That's what I did.
That part.
I created the environment. Because I know the other environments weren't going to be the vibe I needed. And I'm not going to be a person that's, you know, like Fantasi said, laid in the bed on a Wednesday when it's raining and I got to get up. That shit ain't happening if I got to go somewhere I don't want to go. So I need to be in a space where I can be my authentic self all the time. And I would challenge anybody in this room, I don't know who it's for, but you might think that a particular place, organization, person, relationship, what have you, doesn't have space for you, then it's not for you. So be authentic, unapologetically. That's my advice.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Coley, for coming. We are going to
Thank y'all.
So we are going to go ahead and get into our raffle real quick. We're just going to run through these real quick so y'all can get ready to go home because I only paid the DJ till 10. And the video. Cheers. Okay, so Fuzzy Peach, real quick. Oh, you got them? Okay. Oh, first of all, shout out to our ASL interpreter. Oh, did I say that? Because she was over here signing, baby. I don't know what she was talking about, but she was signing. Do you hear me? She did that. Okay. All right, so this is for the free Brazilian waxing or
I do manzillions. So if a man wins and you want to get a manzillion, I'm your girl. Just because you wanted the disclaimer. If you don't want the eyebrow nose, I got you. I'm just saying, I got you.
okay. All right, so cool. What the numbers is, what the numbers is. Okay. Now who did this? It's funny. We like it. 695-4265. Who that is? No, nobody. Nobody. We have 695-4270. That's me. Girl, come get that thing wet, girl. Come on. All right, thank you. All right, so y'all can exchange numbers and information and all of that. All right, next we have, we're going to do,
It's raffle also.
oh, okay, so we're going to do the fruit punch, smoothies. Fruit punch. We're going to do the smoothies. All right, so I'm going to let Dr. Coley pull 2 for the smoothies.
Smoothies. All right. 695-4270.
4264.
4264.
Nope. Nobody?
No.
Okay. Once, twice. Next.
Y'all been drinking smooth. Y'all know y'all been in here drinking SheHOODed. Y'all probably been, look, y'all leaning. I see y'all in them.
I had two SheHOODed. I'm good. 695. Y'all know it's a school name. Stop playing. 4249.
Oh, wait a minute. 4249. Okay.
42.
Okay. Okay, come get your drink.
Come on up.
Yeah, come choose your drink. Pour one more. One more for them.
One more.
Yeah, because we have one more.
All right, here we go right here. This is it.
This the one.
Smoothies. For the smoothies. 695-4244.
Okay, Dun Dun. That's spicy right there. That's my Dun Dun, y'all. Dun Dun about to get married to Stephanie. I'm just saying, her name is Stephanie, y'all, but he said her name is. He said her name one time in his language, and I didn't know what he said, so I thought he said Stephanie, and I called her Stephanie for like a week. That's what it's hard. I'm literally. Okay, so trilogy, AZ, when you come on up here for this free smoke session so you can pull. That's my boy right there, Big D.
Wait a minute. Free smoke session. Can I?
Free smoke session.
Can I go and free mode?
He got a pool. He got a pool, but you can go with me. We'll get you this. This my boy.
Sweatshirt. That's hot.
I appreciate it. Best HBCU out there. Trust
Okay.
me, South Carolina State.
Okay, what word you represent? I see it on your necklace.
Come on, man.
Tell the people.
I'm making South Side fraternity call.
Okay.
We got 695-4239.
He defended it. It don't work.
4239.
4239.
All right, next.
Oh, no, I think somebody got this. 695-4265.
4265.
I think that's my old ticket. I'm like,
Yeah, you don't need.
all right, 695-4269.
Okay, Big All right. I'm gonna get your information, y'all. We'll do a free smoke session together.
Okay,
Look, they like, oh, you going off? Okay, and then we have what was the last thing we said? Oh, Betty Brown. Who want to get their brows done? I ain't got no. Okay.
Let me get them, bro.
Get them brows.
I'm telling y'all, she be hooking. Hey, that lady, I had went to I don't know what the name of that place was. The one that's like. Anyway, they put a patch in one of my eyebrows. Baby, this girl done grew my eyebrow back in that little patch. And y'all know how hard it is to grow your eyebrow patches back, okay?
All right. 695-4273.
Okay, she's actually. Oh, she's not here, but I'll get your information, okay? Yep. All right, and then so the last thing that we have.
Lawyer.
Oh, I did not do the Rigsby Law Firm. The Rigsby Law Firm. Can I get Salisha Rigsby, Esquire, aka the lawyer bag? AKA I am the brand protector.
Esquire Lee.
Okay.
Can you say Esquire Lee?
Esquire. Okay. Esquire Lee. 695-4277.
That's you.
That was my ticket.
She said, can I have it?
Can I have it?
695-4263.
4263. Thank y'all for coming.
Oh, she's right here.
Hey, come on, kids. Yeah. It's about that time.
You can go to the smoke session.
I don't win that. I bought my ticket.
I do one more.
I got a reason she do one more.
One more. That's it. The reason she do one more.
Did you sponsor it?
Okay. Big D said he'll get y'all one more legal consultation.
That's big money grip right there. We got money, y'all. This
sponsored by Demond. 695-4253.
The last raffle is, and it ain't even really a raffle. So, the Locked on Central Lounge, let me use this space for us to host this podcast. I don't know how many of y'all in here, but I appreciate y'all being here. We have bar services, everything. A lot of this stuff is set up because of them. I want to thank everybody that has worked with us. I know I shouted out a lot of y'all already, but I really appreciate y'all. And I had Tony Wheaton, who is not here. He's actually at Poetic Soul right now, performing, doing an Usher tribute with some of the other guys that do that vibe brunch. But anyway, Tony said he wanted to do a raffle to support me because y'all were supporting us. And Tony has agreed. He hosts that vibe brunch on every Sunday, like once a month on Sundays. And it'll be this Sunday from 2 to 6 p.m. And it'll be my first time performing. I'll be doing a rap, okay? Glorilla, okay. Just so y'all know. School bitch. So I want to say that he has agreed to let everyone who has stayed to the end get in for free. I don't know what the vouchers is. But we have vouchers for y'all though that we gonna get. Oh, they're behind me. Thank the hallelujah. The real hallelujah. We have them, so before you leave, make sure you stop by and get this, because I'm not about to be chasing y'all in these heels. So make sure you come and get your ticket, your voucher, so you can get in for free and you don't want to miss it. It's really a vibe, y'all. If you've been, tell somebody about it. If not, show up, because I'm telling y'all, it's really fun. You really gonna have a great time. Tanisha sings there. A lot of people sing there. It's a vibe. Thank y'all so much for coming out. This has been the first or like say something on video so we can have it in case we try to get sponsorship and get y'all maybe some free food, some free drinks, things like that. Make sure you go over here real quick. It don't have to be long. Just go over here, say a little tidbit, and then feel free to leave. Thank you so